The Greatest Day, Sword, Juno and Gold Beaches was published by Multiman Publishing in 2015, designed by Adam Starkweather and part of Adam's Grand Tactical series. The title includes a 68-page scenario book with scenarios ranging from small, one-map learning and introductory scenarios up to the larger, intermediate, advanced and campaign scenarios. The first scenario in this book is the learning scenario, the Black Baron, which focuses on the events of the 13th of June 1944. On this day, as elements of the 4th County of London Yeomanry, with a company of the 1st Battalion Rifle Brigade, tried to pass through Villers Bocage on their way through to the ridge at point 213, they were met by Michael Wittmann, who was at the time commanding the 2nd Company of the 101st SS Heavy Panzer Battalion. Now, Wittmann led from the front in destroying a number of these British tanks, including a Sherman Firefly, several Cromwells and other armoured vehicles, before driving into Villers Bocage and forcing the British forces to retreat. So this scenario includes special rules for Michael Wittmann as a heroic character, and enables the Germans to attempt to drive the British off Hill 213 and back through Villers Bocage. So this overview shows you the setup for this scenario. It's just a one mapper. You can see elements of that 1st company, of Wittmann's company, set up near Villers-Bocage in the northeast around point 213, with the County of London Yeomanry and that 1st Rifle Brigade mounted spread out along the road between Villers-Bocage and point 213. So at the start of this scenario, we have the German division activation, and one of the first things the Germans do is place Wittmann on the map up in the northeast. He now has 4 activations with these Tigers. He gets them into column formation, which they'll need to assault Hill 213 because it's wooded terrain. They move adjacent to that hex, and then they launch their assault on those British defenders. The assault commences and Wittmann passes his bravery check. It's one of the only times he needs to make a roll for effectively troop quality because he passes everything else. And then the defenders get their chance for opportunity fire, which doesn't go too well in the first instance. Now Wittmann is commencing this assault with a series of assault fire. He is trying to suppress and cause some cohesion hits on these defenders before he launches his charge. Now the defenders are in column, and they have a red rating on their assault value, which means that they have to use that assault value twice when using their defensive fire. After that, and the failure for those defenders to cause any hits, it is then Wittmann's turn to attack, and he starts by causing a suppression hit with his first attack on those defenders. They try to convert this to a cohesion hit but fail, and so are suppressed. Now, having suppressed the defenders with his first attack, Wittmann decides to attempt a charge against the defenders, but they very narrowly pass their troop quality check with a roll of 3, which is the minimum needed to pass that, and so they defend their ground and that assault is over. And so for Wittmann's third action, he declares another assault. This time the defenders roll a 0 on their opportunity fire, and they manage to inflict a cohesion hit on Wittmann's Tigers. Wittmann launches a charge immediately, but this time the defenders spend a command point to automatically pass their troop quality check, and so that assault is over. And so Wittmann is forced to spend his 4th action once again assaulting point 213. He passes his bravery check. He once again declares a charge during the assault, and this time, with no command points left, finally the British defenders fail their trip quality check and are eliminated. That's 2 steps eliminated, and Whitman can advance onto point 213. Well, Whitman's unit is done for this command, but the Tigers to the south have spent a command point to take an activation, and they fire at the adjacent 1st Rifle units. They roll very well, scoring a 6, which is the minimum needed to instantly eliminate those defenders. So there's the 4 points of losses that the Germans needed for their secondary objective. Their primary objective was to capture point 213, which they've done. And of course, this is all in the first activation. Now, as the direct command chit is the second one effectively drawn for this scenario, Whitman is in a position where he doesn't have line of sight to any of the British units. And so instead it's up to the Tigers in the south, and they simply take a shot at those other 1st Rifle units just northeast of Villers-Bocage. They pass their trip quality check, and they roll an 8 on the attack, which is enough to instantly eliminate that other 1st Rifle unit. That's the end of the 2 German activations. So we have the 7th Armoured Division activation last, and for a brief moment they think they may make a move towards point 213, not realising there's not much they can do. So you can see in the centre of their unit going to column formation and then moving widely around the ridge so as not to draw opportunity fire. But as soon as they get into range, I think at this point here, as soon as they try to move this hex, there's this opportunity for opportunity fire, which is passed, and the Germans successfully suppress that moving reconnaissance unit. Having seen those units suppressed, having seen 6 step losses, the remaining county of London Yeomanry units decide to withdraw back towards Hill 174 on the west side of the map. So Wittmann is left commanding the field, commanding point 213, having eliminated 6 steps of British units. He has achieved both his primary and secondary objectives, and it's a German victory. So it's a very fast playing scenario. This doesn't take long. There's only 3 chits drawn. The British really don't stand much of a chance here, I don't think. It is a learning scenario. It's really just about getting the nuts and bolts down pat. I think the only way for the British to stand a chance is for the Germans to roll pretty poorly on their attack, or for the British on point 213 at the start to roll very well and try and suppress those Tigers at the very start, which didn't happen here. Nonetheless, as I said, very quick. It's a good introduction to the series and to The Greatest Day.